College Algebra, Topic 3.1 lesson. Let's talk about special linear lines. There's the horizontal lines and the vertical lines. Horizontal lines are always represented by y equals a number, whereas vertical lines are represented by x equals a number. So here we have y equals 4. This will be a horizontal line. To form this line, we'll go to y-axis and go to 4. Once we're there, we're going to make a horizontal line right at y is 4. Okay. Now, points along that line would be points such as 0, 4, right here. This will be 3, 4. And let's say here, -2, 4. So all the points would end with 4 for this line. Okay, so y equals -3. That will be a horizontal line on the y-axis. One, two, three, horizontal line right here at -3. And some of the points along this line would be points such as 0, -3, 3, -3, and let's say -4, -3. Vertical lines are x equals. So here we have x equals 5. So we're going to create a vertical line. So we'll go to 5 on the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and create a vertical line. Some of the points along this vertical line for x equals 5 would be right here, 5, 0. Here, this will be a 5, 2. And here, we would have 5, -3. Okay. Here we have x equals -3. This again will be a vertical line along the x-axis. So 1, 2, 3, and the line is there. And some of the points along this line would be points such as -3, 0, -3, 2, and here -3, -4. The points are relatively easy to find as long as you make the x term negative. Next, the point-slope formula. The point-slope formula, which is y minus y1 minus equals m times x minus x1, is the way that we develop linear equations in point-slope formula, in point-slope form. That looks bad, doesn't it? Okay, y equals mx plus b. So the goal is to take a point and a slope and create a linear equation in slope-intercept form. So here we have a point 3, 1 and a point -6, -5. We want to first develop the slope. So slope formula gives us the y's on top. So we'll take 1 as our regular y and the opposite of the other y, which would be +5. Then for our x's, we'll take 3 and the opposite of the other x, which will be +6. This will give me 6 over 9, which is 2/3. Okay. Then from there, we're going to use the point-slope formula, which is y. The opposite of y is here, which will be -1. The slope is 2/3 times x, and the opposite of x will be a -1. Now I want to distribute my 2/3. I'll get 2/3 x minus 2. Now add 1 to both sides, and we'll get y equals 2/3 x minus 1. Next, we want to find the slope here. So we'll say slope will equal y1 minus y2. So this will be a 9 and the opposite of this will be a positive 3. Then x1 minus x2 will be a negative 1, and the opposite of this will be a negative 2. So this will be a 12, and this will be over negative 3. And this equals negative 4. So that's my slope. So y, and then the opposite of y, which will be negative 9, will equal the slope negative 4, x, and the opposite of x, which is positive 1. If I distribute my 4, sorry, this is y minus 9. If I distribute my negative 4, we get negative 4x and a negative 4. And adding 9 to both sides gives me y equals negative 4x plus 5. Next, we want the slope here. So slope will equal, this is my y, this is my y1 and y2. So we'll get 1, and the opposite of this is negative 11 over 3. My x's will be 3, and the opposite of this will be minus 1. Okay, you notice we have fractions, so we're going to multiply by the LCD, which is 3. This will give me 3 times 1 is 3. 3 divided by 3, which is 1 times negative 11, is negative 11. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. And we'll end up with a negative 8 over a 6, which gives us negative 4/3. So now that we have our slope, we can put everything into the point slope formula. Okay. So we'll have y, the opposite of y, which will be a negative 1, equals, let's see, the slope, which is 4/3, and x minus the opposite of x. The opposite of x is negative 3. Now I'll distribute my negative 4/3, so I'll get negative 4/3 x, and I'll get a positive 4. Add 1 to both sides, and we get y equals negative 4/3 x plus 5. Okay. Lastly, number 4. Our slope will be made from y1 minus y2. So this will be a negative 3, and the opposite will be negative 11 over 3. My x's will be 6, and the opposite of 1, which is negative 1. We're going to multiply all of this by 3, and as a result, we're going to get negative 9 here, and 3 divided by 3 is 1 times negative 11 is negative 11, and 3 times 6 is 18, and 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. This all makes negative 18 over 15. Okay, now from here, we're going to reduce this. Let's see here. Sorry, that's negative 20. My fault. Negative 20 over 15. And that will reduce down to a negative 4/3. Now, we'll take y, and the opposite of y, which is going to be positive 3, equals negative 4/3. X, the opposite of x is going to be negative 6. And we're going to distribute our negative 4/3, so we'll get negative 4/3 x, and negative times negative is positive, and 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 2 times 4 is 8. Then I want to subtract my 3 from both sides, and this will give me y equals negative 4/3 x plus 5 for my linear equation.